Welcome to Almost Here, Round the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Future technologies poised to transform our lives for better or worse are the focus of this podcast. Almost here means these technologies are now here and starting to be used, or just around the corner, from Bitcoin to artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.
Hello, this is Richard Jacobs with the Future Tech Podcast. My guest is Ravi Sharma, the co-founder and CEO of OOTify. It's OOTify.com. So Ravi, how are you today?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So the name is unusual. What does OOTify mean anything, or OOT, or where did this name come from?
Absolutely. No, thanks for asking. OOT means uplift in the Hindi language, and OOTify is the process of lifting each other up.
Okay, cool. So what's the premise of OOTify? What does the company do?
Sure. Yeah. So we're a mental health marketplace powered by artificial intelligence to match those that are seeking help with the best possible provider for their issue. So we take a catalog of a person seeking help based on a few basic parameters and match them with a provider, whether that be a mental health professional, a life or executive coach, or even a verified mentor, to match them based on their issue with the provider with a similar specialty.
Oh, so what kind of mental health issues and what specialties, for example? What are some examples of it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what we try to do, Richard, is to match you based on multiple different criteria, right? So with mental health, you can kind of classify it by illness, but what that really does is it deters our targeted demographic, like millennials and Gen Z. So we really tried to focus on parameters that are a little bit more easy to kind of understand. So out of the gate, we would use severity levels as the first kind of approach. So are you having a high, medium, or low severity? And the reason we do that is because if someone is in a sort of acute episode or has a severe mental illness, OOTify is not probably the best platform for you. We definitely suggest going and seeing a mental health professional in person, or if they do want to connect with someone immediately, we have a referral process. So within our application, our AI will effectively try to direct you to the crisis text line, which we have a partnership with, where you can text with the crisis counselor in real time by texting OOT to 741-741. So we'll do that. We'll also refer you out to the suicide hotline if someone is having some sort of suicide ideation. Or if it's a low severity issue, we'll be able to lower medium severity issue. We can pair you ourselves. But again, emergency services is also available through our app if someone is in crisis. That's kind of the first tier, and then we'll get into the issues. Is it a relationship issue, a life event, or emotional issue? What kind of provider preferences do you have? Clinical professional coach, or a mentor? What kind of emotions are you going through? Are you confused? Are you anxious? Are you annoyed, angry, sad, depressed? And again, we go through this whole catalog process to pair you with providers that are specialized in that specific specialty.
So, all right, if I'm feeling anxious, or if I'm feeling depressed, or mad about something, or that kind of stuff, I'll go into the marketplace or the app, and then I'll do a questionnaire, and that'll help guide me, or how does it work from there?
Exactly. Yeah, so it's a chatbot, AI chatbot, that serves as the intake, and we'll catalog that information, pair you with a provider in real time, and match you to the extent the provider meets that criteria, and then you can engage in audio, video, or messaging right from the comfort of your phone and engage in teletherapy.
Oh, okay. So, all right, that's great. I would save a lot of time in scheduling time with a mental health professional and traveling there and all that stuff. I can see that would be a huge help.
Absolutely. Yeah, we launched in Los Angeles, and if you're trying to get therapy in Los Angeles or other, heavy traffic metropolitan areas, sometimes it can take you up to an hour and a half to get help for your anxiety, right? And you might as well just get more anxious in trying to go to your therapist. So, and the, kind of the work time that you're losing being away from work and your kids and your family. So we really wanted to streamline that process, make it easier to get help, and leverage technology in a way that makes that whole interaction seamless and consolidate both for the person seeking help and for the providers, because we are a two-sided marketplace.
So is there any other option besides just chatting live with a mental health professional, or can you schedule from the app? Can you look up professionals that are near you and go see them in person, or do you want everyone to chat live, through video, I guess, through the app?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So yeah, there's multiple ways you can engage with the provider on a platform. The first one is the matching algorithm that we, is really the crux of our technology. We'd like to kind of make that process easy. But, if you know exactly what you're looking for, you can go straight into your dashboard, go into our search functionality and find a provider that, meets your criteria. You can schedule time with them and you'll get a push notification when you're ready to kind of engage with them. So we've really tried to streamline that process. And then, just taking that a step further, Richard, what we really wanted to do with OOTify is if you don't have the financial wherewithal to connect with the provider, because sometimes mental health help can be expensive, we've tried to solve for that in two ways. So 15-minute consultations are always free on our platform if you're trying, the first time you engage with the provider, but which is unique to OOTify. But the second thing that we do that is really unique to OOTify is we've created a community forum that we're calling the Fabric. And the Fabric is a compilation of different threads that's moderated by providers and peer-to-peer support to kind of go in and get mental health tips, tools, and resources. So that's absolutely free. So you can go on, post a question, or post a response and engage with people that are passionate about mental health and get help from people maybe that have shared experiences. Sometimes you can have a therapeutic sort of experience with someone that has gone through a similar situation as you, whether it be a life event, losing a family member, grief, or a chronic illness, or back pain or something like that that's triggering a mental health concern. So we really wanted to give people access if they couldn't afford it through our 15-minute consultations, and then also through the online community forum that will always keep free for our community.
Does everyone have to go through the 15-minute consultation, or is it just optional?
It's absolutely optional. You can go ahead and
Okay.
schedule an hour if you'd like, or 45 minutes or 30 minutes. Obviously, it's subject to the provider being available and them approving it. But the idea is, really give that autonomy, that flexibility to those that are seeking help.
So what are you seeing? Are people tending to choose a provider and then going back to them over and over for more sessions, or is it, one and done? What kind of behavior you're seeing on the app?
Absolutely. So, the timing of this podcast is amazing for us because we launched 3 weeks ago. We are we launched out of the USC incubator here in Los Angeles, and we are in the early stages, but we've had a lot of traction. A lot of people are doing the initial consultations. We're looking to kind of educate consumers on the benefits of engaging in telehealth for their mental health, and that paid media strategy and sort of content rollout to engage with consumers, millennials and Gen Z, just kicked off today. Actually, we just started our paid media efforts to start to reach out to consumers to really show them on, hey, the value of investing in mental health care. So, we're still in the early stages. We are on our third round of funding, so we are, fully funded, but again, looking to continue to grow our investor base. But we are in the early innings of what we've built, and have really strategically made amazing partners, which I'd be happy to tell you about. But really trying to grow this organically where possible. But paid media is also a key component to get to answer that question.
So are you focusing just on millennials? I mean, because, older people have needs too, and their problems will be different than millennials.
Absolutely. We're not, we're age agnostic, but, what we found is it's a little challenging for those that might not fit that category group to use mobile phone to connect for mental health services. Some people aren't comfortable just texting or video chatting or just picking up the phone and talking to the therapist. Now, if we get other people that are outside of the psychographics that we're targeting, amazing. Like, we want to help as many people with their mental health as possible. But what we found in all of the kind of consumer marketing and research that we've done is, new parents, young professionals that are in transition, and college students are the most interested and able in and have the biggest need for this type of offering. Now, again, I'm happy to help others. We would love to. It's just that's the demographic that's going to, really latch on to what we're doing based on the consumer research that we've done.
Well, just something to consider. Older people, maybe they don't seem to be more comfortable with this, but their issues are very different, and they tend to have a lot more money to be able to resolve their issues. And they may, someone that's 50 years old and is having some kind of issue, again, not only would they have more financial wherewithal to get help, let's say therapy is $100 an hour. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know. But they may be also more patient. They may be better patients of the therapist. They may go longer. So it's just something to look out for in the data. Who knows what will happen, but you'll see.
Absolutely. It's one of those things where you can try to sort of cast a wide net and see what happens. We just wanted to be a little bit focused and then grow it from there. But yeah, the idea is eventually to help all those that are interested in improving their mental health to help them do that.
So, I know it's only been recently you launched, but what kind of feedback are you getting initially that, maybe is piquing your curiosity or surprising?
Yeah, it's amazing. So I initially, just to give you a little background on myself, I lost a friend to suicide in 2016. I've had multiple family members with attempted suicides with mental health concerns.
Oh, man.
So I really focused on the consumer side of things because I really wanted to build a platform that would have saved my friend's life and would help my family directly. It's a very personal mission for me. But what I've been really surprised about is the providers have been thanking us because we haven't really had a huge inflow of consumers yet. They've told us, yes, we want to work on our mental health. This is an amazing community that you're building. And I expected that because, it's coming from based on my personal story. People resonate with that. They understand what our mission is, what we're trying to do. But the providers on the flip side have told my entire team, Ravi, you are at the new frontier for mental health. You are building a platform that empowers our practice. You are helping us with a consolidated experience to leverage technology to help us with marketing, to help us with finding a HIPAA-compliant platform where we can engage with our clients. You're helping us with scheduling and billing so we can focus on the most important thing that we love doing, which is giving care. That's what we care about. That's the most important thing to us. So, having these, we've talked to hundreds of providers over the past 3 weeks. We have 100 providers already on the platform with no paid media, just pure referrals and people talking about us on Facebook groups. And, we're really proud of that. But that has been the most surprising thing, just getting that feedback from providers saying, hey, we love this. This is going to help our practice so much. It's going to help us really build the future of mental health technology. And this platform is quote unquote, the new frontier. So that really was very surprising to us, and we're really excited about that.
So how do you match somebody? I come on your platform, I do the consults, the consult person directs me, you need to see someone that specializes in X, that's your issue. How do you match me with someone, or is it just first available? Because I may not like the provider I talk to, I may not like the counselor, they may just rub me the wrong way, they may be great, I don't know. Maybe I want someone that has a lot of experience or a little experience, or maybe I want a woman or a man. How does that matching occur?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So let me answer this in two parts. So the first part is we take a catalog of all the information, all the criteria that you're looking for in a provider. Then we take that and we go through a waterfall process. So based on availability, based on the issue, based on what you're trying to work on, based on provider preference, based on your emotions, based on the severity level, we take all that and match you with the best possible provider. Now, you may not like your therapist. In fact, you hit on one of the most important issues in the mental health space, chemistry. When you're opening up about your anxiety, about your mental health issues, it's important to have that chemistry. And that's why we've done the free 15-minute consultation. Now, we don't make money on that. We actually lose money on those consultations. But it is so important for a consumer to feel comfortable with their provider. You can talk to a provider that went to Harvard, that understands cognitive behavioral therapy better than anybody else in the world, and that's the perfect technical modality for you to use for you to improve your mental health as a consumer. But if you don't connect with that provider and you don't vibe right with that provider, the reality is you're not going to show any improvement from a mental health perspective. So that's how we've really addressed this issue. And what's unique to OOTify is we've empowered the consumer with these consultations, with that intake process. And then on the flip side, for the provider, we give them the ability to see a snapshot of the criteria that the consumer entered to see if they are equipped to handle that issue. So they get a screenshot before they hit accept to connect with you. So we've really tried to solve it on both sides. We've been really thoughtful about it. It's been a year and a half of building before, kind of going to market with a full 360 approach. We have clinicians on our team, psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists, life coaches, social workers on our team. But then, Richard, we also have creatives. We also have consumers. We also have people that get therapy. We have technologists, all in the same room trying to build this platform. And, all of them are personally tied to this mission. And the result is a beautiful technology platform that we believe truly solves, both sides of the market and will make a big impact on the mental health space.
What if you had a rating system of the therapists? Let's say it's even internal. Consumers don't see it, but the 15-minute intake coach sees it, so they can slot you better. They can say, Mr. Jones, he's just got bad ratings. I'm not going to put you with him. They won't tell the person, but internally they may see it. Or, Miss Smith, she's got a lot of high ratings. She rates high in empathy and high in this and high in that. I'm going to put you with her. But have you developed any system like that? Do you think that would help? And should it be public or not public?
Yeah, that's a phenomenal question. So we do have that, and it is private. And the reason it's private is because, as you know, when people are in fragile mental states, they may give a rating that's a poor rating. So we didn't want to handicap providers for doing their job. So it's something that the provider does see. They see the rating that they get after every session, so they can kind of understand how they're doing with their clients for each session, and continue to improve care. Now, we can do a lot with that data, and we can continue to optimize with that data. We're not there yet. We're in the early innings, but we do have that, and it's something we're really proud of. We think it's really important to have that. And based on your rating, you also get a certain amount of OOT coins. So we've really tried to gamify this, where you want to get as many coins as possible. And the goal there, the end goal and end game there is, number one, get providers excited about giving help, but also, reward them. So if we can, put money in their account, or give them swag or other, rewards for using our platform, maybe a month free for our platform and things like that, for utilizing and helping others, we want to do that. And so, the higher ratings that you get, the more chances you have at getting some of those rewards.
What are some of the rewards people can get?
So it's still open-ended right now. The end game is to be able to give them a month free session, or things like that. So maybe it's OOTify swag, which would be like clothes and sunglasses that we have. We get a lot of compliments on our sunglasses. But things like that to really get people excited about talking about their mental health and helping other people.
Interesting. Okay. So you recently launched. What's ahead for the next 6 months or a year?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So, one of the things that we've done is attend, Health 2.0 in Santa Clara. We've attended Mental Health of America conference in Washington, D.C. And right now I'm currently at the Therapy Reimagined conference in Los Angeles. And we go to these conferences to plan for the future. And what we want to do for the future is really leverage our artificial intelligence chatbots to deliver better quality care and optimize the matching algorithm to get you with the best possible provider. I'm proud to say, Richard, that we recently were a finalist at the Center for Body Computing competition hosted by the USC Keck School of Medicine. So 30 companies competed approximately. We were top 4. We didn't end up winning. I think we ended up top 3. But the idea is, how do you leverage AI to improve health outcomes? So you can do a few things with the data that you get from these intake forms, right? You can track patient healthcare with questionnaires and show them that, hey, by using OOTify and engaging with the therapist, your symptoms are decreasing. You're staying in remission longer, and all sorts of psychometrics that you can show. You can also deploy. This is even more fascinating. Where we want to go is give providers the ability, depending on their modality, give them chatbots that they can deploy to their clients. So say Richard has, you're battling depression. Now we can leverage PHQ-9, which is like a depression tracker, to kind of constantly check in with you to see, hey, this is the progress that Richard is making over time. right? So that's where we want to take our AI. And also, just training providers. We can deploy chatbots to them to say, hey, listen, here's a training. You can, if you want to learn about CBT, maybe you don't know about CBT or these type of psychometrics, there's a bot that can kind of get you some high level color on how they work, and just an easier way to get, up training, improve health outcomes, and maybe even find algorithms that haven't been discovered yet. At the end of the day, we just really want to improve health outcomes with the data and the AI that we're building.
Yeah. And just for listeners, so CBT is what? Cognitive behavioral therapy?
Yep.
Okay. I just want to make sure I got the acronym in case people didn't know.
Yep. No, absolutely. And, it's great to talk to someone with from a place of knowledge about our space and kind of knowing these acronyms, because it's, people don't know that there are really significant evidence-based approaches to deal with our mental health that can really help you have the tools and the resilience to really overcome, life's issues, or even if you have a mental illness, that's okay. There are tools that you can use and have a completely flourishing life and, still be an executive and still be performing at a very high state. So I actually really appreciate talking to you about our space.
Yeah, one idea that came to me, a lot of people, at least historically, they would think, you're going to a shrink, something's wrong with you, that kind of thing. So to make it seem like this is a very necessary part of everyone's life, because everyone has crises, everybody, I don't care who you are, unless you're like half asleep. Everyone needs help from time to time. Everyone deals with things that annoy them, that upset them, and they have fears and all that. Do you have anything in the app, or are you considering anything that would be like a mental health tune-up? So it's a different type of thing. It's not like, hey, I have a problem, I need therapy, but if I do these things on your app and I talk to these professionals, it keeps me in a good mental state. Maybe I'm an entrepreneur and I want to improve my performance, or maybe I'm getting older and I'm having empty nest syndrome or something like that, or maybe it's not even a negative thing, but is there any like positive, you should do this regardless, again, mental health tune-up type stuff that you're considering?
That's a great question. I'm going to do my best to answer it, because there's so many ways I can answer this. But the approach that OOTify has taken is, and I started with this in the beginning of our call, is, we're a technology company powered by AI, community, and also the last piece that I said was uplifting content. I think the best thing that we can do as a company is leverage content. And when I say content, it's like what we've chosen is animated content, similar to Headspace. They destigmatized meditation, and meditation used to be super quirky. It used to take hours and hours and hours to meditate. What Andy did at Headspace is he made it very attractive. You can do mindfulness, you can do meditation in 5 to 10 minutes. What we'd like to do is the same thing. We're creating animated content to really educate millennials, Gen Z, and anyone else interested in mental health, and tell them, hey, these are the benefits of mental health, and do it in a sexy, fun, fresh, creative way where it's not something that you do when you have a breakdown. It's something you work on every single day. You get, better sleep habits, yoga, meditation. And by the way, if you need help, we're a really good, easy way to dabble in therapy. We're it's free for 15 minutes, or if you don't want to engage in one-on-one help, we have a community forum, a community that's got you with free peer-to-peer support, or even moderated help from providers. We really wanted to create a platform that has 3 pillars, because when you're in mental health, you can't just be technology. You really got to create a community and have content that drives people to that community to really have a sustainable business model, in my humble opinion. Like, I really think it needs to be a full 360 approach and not just throwing tech at people. You really need to have the personal story. You really need to open up and be authentic about who you are, and then educate people on hey, this is what a psychologist does. Hey, this is what a psychiatrist does. Hey, this is what a life coach and executive coach does. And you can test all of those out on our platform until you find the person that's going to help you with their modality to help you with the best possible solution for you. So that's really what we're trying to do. Does that partly answer your question?
Yeah, no, definitely. I just, again, because you don't want it to all be about, something's wrong, we're here to fix it. It would be better if it's people are there just because it's good for them to do it, and it'll improve their lives, even if they feel like their lives are okay.
Exactly. You hit it on the nail. I totally agree with that.
Okay. Well, very good. So what's the best way for people to try the platform and to engage, with questions or collaboration ideas?
Sure. Yeah, we're in the early innings, but we'd love feedback. We'd love people to try our platform. You can download our app from both the Apple Store and Google Play. Again, Richard did spell it in the beginning, but it's OOT as in Tom, IFY. You can also follow us on social. We're constantly putting out content to uplift people and help them with their mental health in a positive way. And if you're not sure yet, go ahead and you can go to our website. It's OOTify.com. And, we kind of walk people through what our offerings are, how it works. And, the one thing that's unique about us is we don't take your credit card right as soon as you sign up for our platform. We really only take your credit card when you engage with the provider for their set rate for like the session that you've agreed to. We're not trying to lock you into a subscription model. I think that's a way of the past, and I don't think it's fair to consumers because sometimes you don't need a therapist every single day. And by the way, text therapy alone, in our humble opinion, isn't enough. We give you the ability to have audio, video, and messaging, and we really pride ourselves on that because it's important for providers to see nonverbal cues and empower the consumer with the type of communication channel they feel comfortable with. So, really welcome people to check us out. This is a personal mission for us. We hope you'll join us and be a part of our community because we can't solve the mental health crisis in America without everyone partaking.
Well, very good. Ravi, thanks for coming on the podcast. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. And would love to kind of keep in touch and keep you updated on all the exciting things that we're doing. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
You have been listening to Almost Here, Around the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Subscribe to this podcast, post a review to discover more future technologies that are poised to transform our lives for better or worse, such as Bitcoin, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.